Yo, what's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to be going over how to use mask effects in order to create a really simple and clean intro scene for your music videos or just any video editing project in general. Before we get into the video, I want to let you guys know that I run the Motion Visual Shop where I sell editing packs and presets for video editors. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll have a link down in the description. With all that being said, let's get right into it. So here in After Effects, I'm going to be using these clips from Molly Santana's Windows Up music video. And the first thing we're going to do is create that intro scene with the text. So in order to create that, you want to find a good frame from your first clip. And in my case, I like the first frame. So we're going to click the layer, right click, go to time, and click freeze frame. So what that does is just create a still image for that first frame. And we're going to be creating 3 text layers in total. So the first one is going to be Molly, and then Santana, and then Windows Up. And I want all 3 of those texts to appear within the same amount of time. So for this layer, let's make it a few frames. I'll make it 5 frames. So it's going to be really quick, and just cut that layer. Then we're going to duplicate it 2 more times because we want to create it for the other text layers as well. So just move it like that, move it forward, create a new text layer. And for this text layer, I'll be writing Molly, but of course, in your case, you're going to be writing based off the video that you're editing to. The font I'll be using is the Arial black font. So I'll just type out Molly. And I want the text to be a lot bigger. But before I do that, I'm going to center the anchor point. So you want to click your layer, hold the control button, double click the anchor point tool, and then go to your align tab, make sure it's right at the center. Then we're going to scale up the text. I want it to be really big. I'll scale that up to 550%. And for this first part, I only want the still image to appear on the text. So let's go to the toggle switches and modes. You go right here to your track map, change this to the text layer. And as you guys can see, it only shows on the text. I also want it to appear on a white background. So let's create a new solid. Make sure that the color is a white color. Then just bring that underneath and cut it to the same length as the other layers. Just rename this to BG for background. So we have the first part of this text layer done. You can also move the position of your still image if you don't like the way it looks. So in my case, I think that looks pretty good. Then we're going to move on to creating Santana, which is the second part of her name. To make it easier, just duplicate the first text layer that we created, bring that above this still image. Make sure to turn that on, and then I'm just going to change the name to Santana. Also decrease the scale so that actually fits into the composition. I think that looks good enough. Let's then move on to the third part. So duplicate that text layer again, bring that above this third still image, change the name to the title of the song, which is Windows Up. Then we're going to scale that down to around like right there, and then change the track map. So just do the same thing that we did for the first part of the text. Change the track map to Windows Up so that it only affects the text, and then duplicate the background layer from first part, bring that above so that it's right underneath this still image, and just change the XY value, or you can literally just duplicate that layer and then bring it above. Then we're going to bring the other clips back. This is what we have for the first part of the effect. We have this really simple intro scene with the text layers. For the next part, we're going to be creating a freeze frame effect. And when it comes to freeze frame effects, you always want to overlap your layers. So in my case, let's go forward 10 frames from the first frame of this clip. Hold the shift button, click page down once, bring this layer back. And I also want it to appear at the same time for the third clip as well. So go forward another 10 frames, bring this one back. For the first part, you want to make sure that you have a freeze frame of the first frame of this clip. So in order to do that, duplicate this layer, click Control D, right click, go to time, click freeze frame. I want this part of the layer to be really fast, so let's make it 2 frames. Make sure to bring this forward, bring it backward 2 frames so that as the first clip is playing, it's going to then cut into that freeze frame and then cut into the actual clip. But instead of showing the full size of this layer, we're going to mask it out. So let's just mask out the middle part of the layer, turn on the proportional grid. I'll just mask it out like that. It doesn't have to be like perfect. And we're literally just going to do the same thing for this final clip. So from the first frame of the second clip, go forward 10 frames. Then we're going to duplicate this layer, freeze frame the layer. Just do the same thing, make sure it's only 2 frames long. Bring this layer 2 frames back, turn on the proportional grid, and mask out the middle part. And this is what we have for the final effect. So we have this really simple mask effects. So it's really as simple as that. We have that really clean title card at the start, and then we have the freeze frame effects. That's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.